we are.
Yeah.
We did it. We're doing it. We're
Yeah.
doing it. It's happening. So, I am Jim. This is...
Patrick. My name's Jim.
And Jack.
Wait. Maybe we should start again.
Is your name not Jack?
No, I don't.
This is a huge announcement. He's changing his name.
No, I don't think we should start it by having this is and this is. I think it should be you say who you are.
I think this
you say who you
discussion
are,
is exactly
you say
how
who
this
you are.
podcast is going to start.
No.
Yeah?
No,
So
thanks.
it's on. Okay, so the three of us, we were at a party with friends, and we were enjoying some cheeses at a party, and I had tried some cheese, and somebody asked about it, and I said, yeah, it's really worth trying. And someone else suggested that was a great podcast name, and so we've decided to run with it. So this is our podcast. It's called Cheeses Worth Trying, and the premise of the podcast is that every episode we are going to bring in some cheeses. As you can see, we actually have 6 cheeses because Christmas just passed us by, and people had heard about that we were making this show, and people have been gifting us cheese. We also took a trip to New York City recently where we went to Murray's Cheese Shop, which is one of, I think, the most famous cheese shops that I've ever heard of. And we got a nice selection of things there. So the premise of the show is that we're going to try cheeses. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about whatever else we feel like talking about. And really the goal here is to get people to send us free cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone sends us free cheese to try, then this podcast is a success.
Also, I would just like to say that we won't be biased by the cheese that they give us.
We will absolutely not be biased by any amount of free cheese or gifts that are sent to us at my office on 120 East Washington Street, Suite 928 in Syracuse, New York. That is where people should send free cheese if they want us to provide a completely unbiased review of the cheese. We would never, ever in a million years.
We wouldn't dream.
I wouldn't dream of providing a biased review just because someone sent us cheese for free. I wouldn't even think of it. Would you do that?
No.
None of us would sully or besmirch our good names in this community by doing that. We would only provide completely objective reviews and discussions, and that's how the cookie crumbles. So I heard a rumor that these guys are super hungry. So why don't we do this? I actually have a tray that I think we can use. I'm gonna go grab a tray, and maybe you guys can discuss what are the cheeses that we're gonna try. I'm just gonna be a minute, I'm gonna walk away, but maybe you wanna, can you guys handle that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
Okay, so the first cheese we have here is a Roule with garlic and herbs. It doesn't give any description, but we'll be able to describe it when we eat it. The second, we have a Lille Collommiers. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. Comes from Vermont Farmstead. It also does not have a description, but like I said, we can describe it later. This one is called Humboldt Fog. It comes from the Cypress Grove Creamery. It says, "Get yourself a little slice of this cake. Cheesemaker Mary Keene of Humboldt County, California, invented this cheese, so named for the Pacific Mists in the early 80s. That's all I'm going to say.
And over here, we got some goat milk brie from somewhere that doesn't say.
I didn't even know they made goat milk brie. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I think one of the things that I'm super excited about that we're gonna do is we're gonna learn about cheeses. So we have
from
cheese
Aldi's.
books. That's from Aldi's.
Yeah, it's in this Aldi's cheese.
Okay. So does that make it? Where is it from? Like, where do you know where it was made?
No,
It said it
Aldi's.
from Cheese Emporium. That's all it says.
Okay.
They need to put more detail on this cheese.
Well, I think we could do some research here. This is a product of Canada. Okay. So this is from
Canadian.
Canada. It's distributed by Aldi in Batavia, Illinois. So, did you guys go through all of them?
No, we didn't do these two.
Okay. Tell us.
So we got some Murray's. You're reading that.
Murray's Pecorino Tartufalo. It has It's a cheese. It was actually described to us by the person at the counter. It has truffles inside of it, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's a truffle pecorino, and the cool thing about Murray's is when we went to Murray's, I mean, they had a whole,
sea of cheese.
it's a sea of cheese, and whatever looks interesting to you, you can ask the people behind the counter, and they can tell you all about it. But also they let you taste it, right? So we have tasted these three, and these, I think each one of us chose one, if I recall correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a little bit of background knowledge, that means.
Cool. Did you guys go over the other ones too?
I went over this one. And
What was this one?
I'm
What
not
did we
sure.
have here? This was
Neither of these provide descriptions.
oh, those two were from Vermont. So our initial episode, we were going to do Vermont cheeses. And we ended up taking too long, and some of the cheese that we had went bad. So I thought, why don't we just eat the cheeses that we have right now?
Before they go back.
Yeah, so that one we got from Aunt Robin, right? And so the other thing I hope to do from the podcast is, like, anyone that wants to come on the podcast can come on the podcast. So if people want to come on the podcast, like, how would they let us know that they want to come?
Email
Who do they email?
our show. I'll provide descriptions.
All right, so we're gonna get an email set up.
Yes.
In the meantime, I think we'll have an Instagram account, so you can DM us through Instagram. Is it created already?
No.
All right. Well, we're gonna try and get cheeses worth trying. So I
It'll
guess
be there at least by the second episode.
by the second episode, we will have some version of cheeses worth trying
Contacts.
on the podcast. On Instagram, and we will post some of the clips from the show, and we will try to provide some information about the cheeses. If any of the cheeses that we talk about sound really great, maybe we can try to set up links as to how to buy them. And obviously it would benefit the show if you bought it through the link that we provide. But that's not really what we're in it for. We're really in this for free cheese.
Yeah.
Right? This is really, our passion is getting to eat cheese that other people have paid for.
It's
So
just so fun.
it tastes better, doesn't it? When you don't, like, when money is, like, this cheese costs $7.40 to me, but what did it cost to you? Nothing. So who do you think will enjoy it more?
Me.
You? I think so too.
I said that, Josh.
Cool. So yeah. So what else? What were the other cheeses that we got?
Got this one.
That's the final cheese that we need to.
A Torta de Cesar.
Torta del Cesar.
Cesar.
You read the description.
This is the one that tastes like an apple.
Oh yeah, they have descriptions on there. So
We already read the other two.
oh, you did. So read it. Do you want to read it, Patrick?
This is the one that tastes like an atom bomb. This is a little round packed with a lot of flavor. Slicing into the top of the Torta de Cesar thing, a wafting note of fresh baked bread, honey, and a distant funkiness at the first to appear. Spoon this creamy paste into some bread or straight into your mouth, and be overwhelmed by flavors of cultured butter, roasted artichokes, and brie green olives. And finish with a touch of bacquate.
Let's see. What does it say? I don't even know what that word is.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, so this is, we're going to look up what some of these words mean, and we're going to start to develop a vocabulary for how to talk about cheeses, and hopefully by listening to the podcast, you all will too. So, I've got crackers here. My fear here is that the wrinkling of the crackers are going to be like a little much for people listening, so I'll try to minimize that, but here's a few crackers. And we got some Triscuits. I mean, I think that the crackers that you pair with the cheese is important.
Yeah,
Right.
if they're too overpowering, you don't get to really taste the cheese, they taste the crackers.
Right, like you wouldn't want to put cheese on a cookie because then like it interferes with all the other flavors, right?
Also, that's just wrong.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
a crime
sorry.
against humanity.
I'm sorry that the wrapper is so loud. But here's some Triscuits. We don't have a ton of Triscuits. And then we have these delightful fig and vanilla cracker crisps from Wegmans.
Once again, we apologize for the complaint.
Yeah, so much for more.
So now in the future, I think what we're gonna do is I'll probably try to do a better job of getting everything open beforehand. So this is you know.
Off my cheese.
This is a pilot episode, is what they call it in the industry. Okay.
The cheesy.
We're all super stoked to eat these cheeses, but I'm gonna make you guys talk more before we eat any cheeses.
Darn. Okay.
I have one question. The question that I have for both of you, let's start with Jack. What are your favorite types of cheeses? Like if you were only gonna have one cheese for the rest of your life, what sort of characteristics would that cheese have?
I really like creamy cheese, like mozzarella, like when you can like taste the milk inside of it. I like that kind of cheese.
Like a very fresh cheese?
A fresh cheese.
Yeah,
yes.
because mozzarella tends to be that way. Okay. Does it matter to you whether it's hot or cold?
It does not matter.
Okay.
I have no bias against cheese.
Okay, so you're kind of a mozzarella, like a fresh mozzarella kind of guy, like the mozzarella balls that you get in the Italian deli?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I was like buying out of the fridge. Because of my wrap.
Yeah, I hear that. I like that too. What about you, Patrick?
I like bries with herbs.
Bries with herbs.
Herby bries.
And how do you prefer to eat a brie?
I'd like to eat it as fast as I can put it into my mouth.
So you don't savor the brie at all? You're just like jamming it into your mouth, like
Yeah, there's usually more.
you set up a conveyor belt.
I'm more of a savor kind of person because then you get the taste for longer.
I agree. I like to savor it as much as possible. But what I meant is like, do you prefer it to be baked brie or room temperature or cold or?
The brie we had with Aunt Robin's.
The brie at Aunt Robin's. That was baked brie, right?
Yeah, that was good. I like
It was like a pastry kind of.
Kind of.
Oh yeah, it had a pastry over it. So you like the whole accoutrement, like the whole thing going on. There's a sauce on the brie is melted. That's
He
your
likes
jam. The works. So it's interesting. We all seem to really prefer creamier cheeses. For me, like the softer the cheese, the better.
Yes. Definitely.
Although, and I've eaten my share of baked brie. I used to eat baked brie like on a regular basis. I don't anymore. I try to be a little more healthy now. But I really like bries and other triple cream kind of cheeses that are like, they just have this amazing flavor.
And texture. Texture is important too.
Yes, I think there's one called like Saint Andre that you see sometimes in the stores that's a really good like triple cream cheese. Obviously a lot of brie and brie variants, really good. I always heard that you're supposed to serve those cheeses at room temperature, and I have to agree that I've found them to be the best at room temperature.
Just for some confirmation.
Another thing we should consider here: what sort of beverages do we like with the cheese?
I don't think beverages are needed at all, honestly, because since most of these cheeses here are creamy already, we don't really need very much liquid.
Okay.
There's like a.
Well, I like to
At
cleanse.
least for this episode.
I like to cleanse the palate, personally, and I'm always trying to drink water. Although, actually, I have a bottle of sparkling wine in the fridge that I'll probably open, just because I think it pairs well with the brie.
Let's try it.
Yeah. All right. So this that we're trying first is the soft ripened goat brie from Wegmans. Goat's milk brie Emporium selection.
You have no idea how hard it is to not eat it right at this second.
Eat it at the second.
All right, let's
we're
do it.
ready to go. What do we think?
We need more.
What's that?
We need more.
You have more. It's on your plate. Like, how does it taste? Somebody is sitting here in their car or with their headphones on, trying to do their treadmill workout, listening to us talk about cheese. Like, they want to know, like, what do you think about this cheese?
This cheese is it honestly tastes like a generic brie. Just like when you think of brie, that's kind of what this cheese tastes like.
So, in tasting this cheese, do you feel like there's any real difference? This is a goat's milk brie. Most bries, I believe, are, I think that they're cow's milk, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think so too. And this is part of our process here. We're going to learn about this stuff. But
Do they have more than just cow's milk and goat milk?
sheep's milk.
Oh.
Sheep's milk. I mean, I suppose theoretically you could make cheese out of any milk.
Cat milk, cheese.
In any animal milk. You can make cheese out of almond milk.
Human
I'll do
milk.
it.
But that's because almond milk isn't milk.
Sure.
So
It's a milk substitute.
maybe that's a good way
Sorry,
to define
vegans.
what, sorry vegans. The vegans will not come after us though. I know this because they're typically in a weakened state, so they won't be able to catch us anyway. Sorry guys, I'm just joking. I just like to tease you.
Too fast for
Make
the
your own
vegans.
food choices. So, I mean, do you notice a difference though between like goat brie and regular brie?
It tastes a lot more creamier. I think.
Creamier.
And
Creamier.
I think it's milder.
It is a bit.
There's
mild.
like there's a bit of a little bit of a brightness. I feel like,
A bit of sunshine packed inside of the cheese.
well, it's almost like
Banana crackers.
there's almost like a lemoniness to it, like just very slight.
Here, let me try it again and see if I can find it.
Yeah, I just had some just without any
Isn't
cracker.
lemony cheese like bad cheese?
Well, no, I'm not saying it's lemon flavored. I'm just saying like a very slight.
It tastes more like a sour tinge, not like lemon specifically.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Is that there's like a little,
Yeah, I got that.
very slight like perkiness to it. You know?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's a good cheese. It would be also interesting to compare like how does a goat's milk brie compare to a cow's milk brie from a nutritional perspective, right? Like I wonder is it less fattening? Because this is, I think, and this is a concern that I have here, is that we're sitting here starting a show about eating cheese, and I don't want to gain 20 pounds
By eating cheese.
from just sitting here eating cheese and crackers. So, obviously I'm going to try to make sure that I get the workout in and keep myself fit and active in order to combat the effects of constant cheese eating.
I don't think if we get eating cheese, we should get people fitness advice. But anyway,
We may have disqualified ourselves from fitness advice.
I think so.
We could start another podcast called Exercise is Worth Trying.
I don't think. No, yeah,
No?
no.
All right, well,
Because it means we have to exercise right after our cheese eating.
didn't we exercise before? Didn't we already exercise today?
We did.
It's true.
We did. We went to jiu-jitsu. So.
Good martial art, try.
Yeah, and then I'll probably lift later today. I didn't really feel like I feel like I had a little bit of energy left over after jiu-jitsu, so I'll probably try to pick some things up and put some things down. So yeah. All right, so
Okay.
I think the big thing here is then it's going to come down to starting to compare some of these other cheeses here. Do we want to move on to the next cheese?
This
Yeah.
one next cheese should we do?
Well, this is Lille with garlic and herbs, which I think you kind of said that you would like. This is a softer cheese. The only thing that concerns me about this cheese a little bit is that the sell-by date was almost a month ago. So there's a good chance that this cheese is going to taste not great.
Well, but that's
Although
what we're here to do, taste it.
We're gonna taste it. It's not gonna kill us.
You won't, right?
No, it won't kill us.
Okay.
Also, isn't aged cheese like better?
Yeah, but that, you don't age it by just putting it in the fridge and forgetting about it for a month.
That's
It's
true.
like, look at this. Is nice.
They're aged in like a cave or something in France, and it has to be like the perfect conditions and sterilized and all that stuff. But
Why does it have to be in France? Is that a condition?
well, I'm making a joke, but there is some aspect of like the location of where you do it being important because of the climate.
Yeah.
So, all right. so here's the Le Roule cheese. Why don't you take this and cut it into thirds and put some on each person's plate. I'm going to get my sparkling wine. If you guys want water, then you can get water.
Alright. And you know what that means is.
Actually,
Actually what? That's chill.
Pass me that.
Chill with the cheese.
Please pardon us. You're just eating. We're just getting ready to eat
We're
cheese.
preparing.
Prepare. Be back in a few moments. I'll still be here, but like, you know how it is. Okay. Got it all set up. Gonna wait to actually eat the cheese. So, do it. That's it, the plate.
all right. Actually, I do have this non-alcoholic sugar plum sparkling beverage.
Wow.
If you guys would like some.
Sounds good.
This was for our Christmas party. And I do have some cheese left over from the Christmas party also. And if anyone wants to wash it down with some peppered salami, we have that as an option also.
We can make a sandwich.
Do you feel like how do you think cheese compares when you're mixing it with other foods? Like, do you think that matters?
I think it
It
matters
does
what the kind of food is. Like, you can't just like throw something random.
You can't put corn on cheese.
I mean, you could.
I mean, yeah,
Depends on the cheese.
depends on the cheese. There's probably some cheese out there that goes good with corn.
Cheesy corn actually tastes amazing.
Well, you put cheese in your tacos?
Yes, cheese and tacos.
And are your tortillas made out of corn?
Well, they have a different taste, kind of.
Mm.
Tortillas taste different than corn. At least
Yeah,
they
you're
do.
you're talking about like raw corn.
Yeah.
Just corn, just
Corn.
on the cob with cheese on it. That could be good.
That sounds. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like street cheese when they make corn on the cob, and then they cover it with like Parmesan and seasonings and stuff?
Yeah. So,
So
you pass the plums.
Alright,
yeah,
if you don't mind, I'm going to start eating this cheese.
do it.
Alright.
That's good. That's really good.
Doesn't taste like very bad at all.
Good.
Honestly. It's got a bit of a sour tinge.
Oh, it's a cracker.
Okay. That's it. Just a sour tinge.
There's a sour tinge. So I guess we don't really know if the sour tinge was there before or not. And I'm pairing all this with Perini Rosé Brut Prosecco. And one of these days we can talk about Prosecco, which is something that I enjoy a lot. But what you pair with your cheese is important. Pairing different wines with your cheeses, I think, is really great. Are you able to get that? You want a hand? Yeah, all right.
Slippery cheese.
You should have been touching it with your hands. Use the knife. There you go.
Slippery cheese.
Yeah, once the cheese is yours, you can do whatever you like with it. But while we're sharing the cheese, let's not put our fingers on it, okay? So maybe this podcast is also about some basic cheese etiquettes,
Cheese etiquette.
right? We don't double dip our cheeses. I'm gonna put this down here because I don't want to block the camera. So cheers to our new venture.
Our new cheese.
Our adventure be cheesy. That's good.
All right, I'm gonna try the cheese now.
It tastes like sugar plum. Exactly as advertised. I already tasted it.
So the Le Roule with garlic has a very traditional goat cheese, which I think they call chèvre. Let me just drop some there.
Oh, yeah.
It has a very kind of traditional goat cheese kind of feel. It has a little bit of a crumbliness to it. It's less soft than most goat cheeses you come across.
It does.
It doesn't really say on the wrapper very much about it, so maybe that's something that we can look up, and we'll try to provide a little more information about that.
Link in the description.
Yeah, but it's a great cheese. It's good.
Pretty good cheese.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is the ideal length of a podcast?
Like
20 minutes. Maybe an hour. Between that.
Okay.
If we're just eating cheese, then probably like 40, maybe 50.
Do you guys listen to podcasts?
Not really.
I mean, I listen to people talk about stuff. Pretty much I watch video podcasts. Just,
What do you watch?
There's a guy that I like who does Nintendo stuff. Talks about Nintendos, which is cool.
Nintendos?
Mhm.
You know what's his name?
Beat 'em ups.
Shout him out. What is it?
Beat 'em ups.
Beat 'em ups. Cool.
Luckily, there's a beat 'em up.
I mean, maybe he does. We don't know. How about you, Jack? Any content that you're really into or anything like that?
Not really. I normally look up tutorial videos
Okay.
on YouTube. Or like memes.
Yeah, he's a big meme person.
What do you like better so far? The Roule garden herbs or the Aldi's goat cheese brie?
I do like the brie better because it's softer and creamier, and like I was just said, I prefer the softer, creamier cheese.
I like this one.
You like which one?
The herbs.
You like that one better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think I
You
like
did say you liked herbs.
Yeah, I like the goat cheese brie a little bit better.
I do just like the general taste of brie as well. Like, what's not to like?
But the Le Roule is, I think it's like a higher quality cheese.
Yeah.
It's a little more of a sophisticated cheese.
Like if you were to go to like a party with like your friends, you would bring this. But if you're going to go on like a work party, you would bring this.
When you say this, what are we talking about? People are listening, so they don't know what
The
you're saying.
herb cheese is for like fancy people,
Fancy people
and the goat cheese is just for like
and
Fancy
your
herbs.
scumbag
Gross.
friends, you could bring
Gross.
goat cheese,
Yeah.
brie. You're like, you're a douchebag, here's some brie.
I mean, they both taste good.
No, I don't think anyone is going to be upset to get any of these cheeses. So.
No. And once again, we will not be upset if you send us cheese. In fact, we will be overjoyed.
but we won't be biased.
I will actually be upset if you don't send us cheese. I'm going to be.
We should probably wait until we get more popular though, until we get to get cheese. We'll wait till later.
Okay.
We're not expecting you to send cheese right now.
No, I'm expecting you to send cheese now. I just don't know when you will receive this message.
It depends.
All right, what's the next cheese we should try? We've got 4 more.
I think we should try
Adamant cheese.
the Adamant cheese. Is it this one?
Okay.
Yeah, the Torta de Cesar. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one. Can you refill my?
I'm going to use this peppered salami as a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Salami is all is like
I would like a
perfect
refill
cheese.
on the crackers while I cut this. Do you mind if I do that? It wraps this cheese well. And as soon as I open it a little bit, I can smell what Patrick was talking about with the Adamant.
I remember tasting all of these and remember being like, wow. And I think it was Patrick that picked the Adamant. We picked one of the cheeses from Murray's. I think Patrick picked the Adamant. I think Jack picked the truffle.
I did
You
the
picked that other thing.
I
Oh,
picked
that's-
one called
smell it.
Humboldt Fog. Oh my god. All right, so we all just smelled. What is it called?
Torta del Cesar. One of the three.
Look, Torta del Cesar. I don't know how you say it. Cesar.
It sounds like someone's.
I think Cesar. Torta de Cesar sounds Spanish to me, and it's intense, dude. It's an intense cheese.
It kind of smells like someone's farts when they eat salami.
It doesn't smell like farts.
It
smells
doesn't
like-
smell like. I don't know what's wrong with your farts, but it's a stinky cheese, right? So that's not. It's not the kind of cheese that you would just show up and like expect everyone to be down with this cheese. It's an adventure. Like before you cut it, we didn't really describe what any of these cheeses looked like very much. Like the goat's milk brie looks what you would expect it to look like.
Because it's brie. Like
It's a
you can,
brie.
You can think of a brie in your head. I'm pretty
It's a
sure.
little.
If not, you can look it up.
It's a slightly different consistency than what you're maybe used to on a cow's milk brie. The La Roule is like a little crumbly and probably would be really great with a salad.
Yeah, like as instead of a blue cheese, kind of, but you just crumble the.
Yeah.
La Roule.
That's what I would do with it, definitely. The Torta de Cesar.
Thing.
What does it look like?
It looks like it looks like a Swiss cheese. The holes are smaller though, and it has like a very very slight greenish tinge to it. It's kind of like a peach color, like the
I believe so.
like a skin tone. It's got the peach skin tone on it, and it's got like kind of Swiss cheese holes, but their holes are smaller.
It has a rind. I don't agree that it looks like Swiss cheese, but I understand why you're saying that. There are very slight holes in there.
That's what I was.
This
saying.
cheese has definitely been aged. Is it hard or soft? With the
I think
knife, not with your fingers, with the knife.
Oh, okay.
That's soft.
It looks to be on the softer side.
It is softer. It's not soft 100%. It's softer.
We were with my mom when we went to Murray's Cheese Shop, and she kind of described it as being similar to Limburger. I've always heard the Limburger cheese stinks, but I'm not super familiar with it personally. But Torta de Cesar is it's going to be a very flavorful, and I believe, if I recall correctly, they said that it was kind of sour, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I took a tiny bite and it was overwhelming.
I'm surprised at the size of the cheese that you put on your cracker, because this is an intense cheese.
Yes.
It's a really intense cheese.
I'll just be able to give it a
Heck,
really
you cut
intense
this thing.
description. Oh,
Okay.
Made some
Oh,
sisters.
All right. Let me give you a hand here.
we're talking about the other one being sour. This one is sour. Oh my god.
It's amazing though. It's one of your
It
favorites.
tastes good. It definitely tastes good, but the flavors are very intense.
When I sampled it,
Thank you.
I recall eating the rind and being like, maybe this is one of those cheeses where you don't have to eat the rind. Some people eat rinds and some people don't. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer, but oh, I'm sorry. We each have our own cheeses worth trying knife.
From
If we ever get a merch store, then maybe one of the things we should have are cheeses worth trying cheese knives. Right?
they have to be custom because
Obviously.
obviously.
You can't just get it from the store. That would be not.
So
Oh,
this
that was
cheese, I mean, there is definitely a smell of feet
Feet.
Feet.
that I smell. Feet.
Feet.
Which feet are you smelling?
I don't think my feet smell like cheese. They're nice.
Well, when you get older, you might be, you may experiment more with smelling feet.
Okay. I'm not gonna question it.
Don't question it. Don't ask questions. Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah, I mean, I'm smelling the cheese. To me, it smells like, it just has that, like, funk to it, you know?
I'll agree more with funk. Feet is a bit on
Feet
the.
funk?
No, just funk.
I think feet funk.
The cheese itself has a lot of bite to it,
Yeah, it's like you bite it, and then it's like
and then it bites you.
You bite it.
just holds up.
Let's
and
snap that bites
rolls
back.
In America, you bite the cheese, but in Torta de Cesar, the cheese bites you. So yeah, it's
Intense.
it's very intense. Honestly, I don't really care for it very much. I'm glad to have tasted it, but it's not something that I'm anxious
It's not worth trying.
to come back to. It was worth trying. It was worth trying. And that's what it's all about here today, right? Like, it's all about trying different things and maybe discovering some things that you like that you didn't know that you liked. Maybe coming to appreciate some things, right? So maybe there's a universe where I grow to love Torta de Cesar. But
That's not this one.
but it's not today. It's not today.
I mean, like, this is a good cheese to, like, share, I guess, like what we're doing right now. But I wouldn't just take this cheese and be like, I want some cheese, and then buy it and then eat it. Like, that's not what I would do with this cheese. This
No.
cheese is like, I don't know how to describe it.
It is extremely flavorful. It's very overpowering.
I like it.
It's like,
So tell me what you like about it.
I
I like
that.
all of the flavors.
Because I
Honestly-
don't want you guys to agree with me. But I want to know like what is it that you like about it.
I mean, like, there are a lot of flavors, but, like, I kind of like that. I mean, like, some of the flavors don't taste good, obviously, because it's, like, funky sour cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
But, like, that doesn't mean all of them as a whole doesn't make it good.
it's
like,
kind of like
It obviously doesn't taste like, wow, this is great. But it's also not like, oh, this sucks. This is disgusting.
What you're
It's
saying
not
is that it
what's
was a cheese worth trying.
It was worth trying. I'm not going to eat it again, but it was worth trying.
I definitely.
We might have to finish it after the show, though, because we are starving.
You're still starving. Have some salami.
I mean, like, we've only had, like, 3 small slices of cheese. I don't know what your daily eating habits are, but, like,
You know what my daily eating habits are. We live together.
yeah, but I don't watch you just eat cheese every day.
Why not?
I thought we were okay.
I don't
You're
stop.
missing out on an opportunity.
They're watching us eat cheese.
They are. They're watching or listening to us eat cheese.
Well, they're allowed to. You shouldn't just be like eating cheese in your room and then you just see a single eyeball through the door. That's not what.
Are you aware of me ever eating cheese in my room?
I don't know.
Like I sit in bed eating cheese like poltergeist, like over in the corner with my back to everyone.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Could we try this? We have a lot of soft cheeses. I guess it's because we like soft cheeses.
I would like to try that one. This one's good.
The truffle one next?
The truffle one.
Next.
We sampled the truffle one and we were all like, wow, this is actually really interesting.
The truffle one was really good. Why don't you open that up? I'm going to open this one, which is called Vermont Farmstead Cheese Company, Lille. It feels like a brie, and I believe the cheese is called Lille Collommiers. And it was purchased at the Woodstock Farmers Market in Woodstock, Vermont.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to everyone at the Woodstock Farmers Market, where we actually have friends and family there. So shout out to them. We do.
Woodstock Farmers Market in Vermont. I don't know about the other ones. They're probably good too, but like we can't say anything about them because we don't know them.
Farmers markets?
Well,
Well, this is
Woodstock
like
Farmers Market.
this isn't like a farmers market. It's not like a farmers market like you're in the parking lot
Buying
of
tomatoes.
the,
I
of
mean,
the
like-
town hall. Like it's a farmers market. Like it's a little store, and they've got all sorts of cool stuff. I don't know if you guys remember going there with me a few years ago. Jack got his first pocket knife. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah,
Was,
still
it was
have
in fact it was kind of like a cheese knife.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's like a cheese knife.
It was. It was a French Opinel, I believe it's called.
A French open-L cheese knife. I think
Yeah,
it's,
it was the kind of knife you would like bring on a picnic.
It's kind of fitting.
It's
because,
not a
like,
knife you would bring to a fight.
If you stab someone
No.
with that, they'll be like,
Although I kind of accidentally cut myself with it once, and it hurt, but it didn't bleed.
Sure.
it's fine.
All right,
It's
so
not
that's
a
the Lille Collommiers is the one that I have. It looks like a brie.
Oh yeah, you guys should smell this one too. I think this one smells good.
So I think in the
Try
future,
smelling this one.
I think in the future when we do this,
That smells better than the other feet's cheese.
yeah,
It
that's,
doesn't smell like feet, that's for sure.
that's a delightful one.
Oh, it
I think
smells
in the
like
future what we
wild
should do is we
mushrooms.
should do more of the research ahead of time so that we can speak intelligently about what cheeses we're trying. But I think sometimes you gotta let.
We're just starting out, so we have.
Sometimes you have to do and then plan. Planning is great and planning is important, but I think too many people are trying to do something and waiting till it's the perfect time. And sometimes there's never a perfect time. So the perfect time for us to do this podcast is
right
now because we're doing it.
And the perfect time to eat cheese is right now.
Damn straight. All right.
Oh,
This cheese I'm actually really excited about.
this one that tastes like mushrooms.
The thing, well,
That's the point.
it smells like truffle. There is a definite truffle essence. And the interesting thing about it, though, is that there's a difference between truffle oil, in my opinion, and things that are imbued with truffle.
Imbued with truffle is like you possess whatever it is with truffle, and the truffle oil is like it gives you a good aftertaste. It like adds to the flavor. The oil is like an addition, and the other thing is like
Within.
that's what it is. That's what you're supposed to be tasting.
Well, see, I feel like
sometimes you get things with truffle oil. Like I like truffle French fries, right?
Truffle French fries are good.
I like truffle fries, but too many people put too much damn truffle oil on their truffle fries. Guys, if you're serving truffle fries, put half as much truffle oil on the fries. Give it a try. See what happens.
No one's
It's
gonna
gonna
try.
be great.
And it'll be healthier too.
Your fries should not just taste like you're drowning in truffle oil. There should be a very slight truffle taste, and that's the thing I really liked about trying this cheese. So I'm gonna have some right now.
Oh my god, very good. I love this cheese.
Let's describe the, what's the consistency of this cheese?
It's like a little bit of a crumbly brie. It's like a mix of like a more or less crumbly compared with like a cheddar. Like have you
Crumbly
guys,
mozzarella.
if you guys think of a cheddar consistency, that's kind of what this is like.
I agree with that.
I'm just saying more
Like how it's like you can bite into it, but it's not like you push it and it like collapses on itself.
and top it just dies.
This cheese, I mean, pecorino and truffle, I mean, look, it's
Amazing.
it's not cheap. We got a very small piece of it, and it was almost $6.
5.67
Wow, that's to be exact.
But if you wanted to make your own cheese plate and you really wanted to knock it out of the park, you could get like a soft cheese on one end, a brie kind of thing, and you get one of these, the pecorino with truffle, you know, to kind of balance out the consistencies, right? Because you don't want, when you make, we should talk about cheese plates at some point too, and like what's the best way to make them, and we can debate all that too. But I think, all right, we're back. My alarm went off on my phone. That's okay. We're gonna just. So what I was saying before though was that you make a cheese plate. I think it's good to have soft cheeses and maybe something with a little more body to it, a little more flavor. Like, you know, you get a nice sharp cheddar and a nice mild triple cream.
Oh, another napkin. I'm gonna
Oh,
clean
yeah.
myself up a bit.
Oh yeah, that's probably necessary.
Please give us a few minutes to clean ourselves up because we don't want to be disgusting and covered in cheese.
Okay. Yeah. So
Not if it's like part of your clothing.
The next cheese.
today.
There we go.
what do we have for the next cheese?
Next cheese. That one.
Is
In the meantime, I'm gonna keep
what did we
eating
say this was?
Uh,
Oh, this was the farmer's market cheese.
Yeah.
So this is the Lille Collommiers.
In the meantime, I'm gonna keep eating this cheese because it's amazing.
And this looks a lot like a brie. It is a little bit chunkier. It's not as creamy looking. However, it is a soft cheese. And I'm sure it will be very creamy tasting. But it doesn't have the same like oozy kind of consistency that say the goat cheese brie does. The goat cheese brie, it's in room.
Kind of looks like glue.
Yeah, it's room temperature and it's already kind of melty a bit. Whereas this is room temperature. It looks like a brie. It looks very creamy, but it holds its own a little more.
Smells good too.
Like
It smells great.
Like my example with pushing on it and seeing it go down, it doesn't really. When you push on it, like obviously it goes down because it's still like a bit of creamy, but it's not like whoa there. Like it needs to actually add some force to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody just walks around pushing cheese, but like
If you do, you gotta add more.
if you do, here's the knowledge.
This is a pretty flavorful brie. It's like, or I mean, it's not a brie. It's whatever it is, but
We don't know what it is.
Tastes like
It's
a
good.
well, it calls itself Lille Collommiers.
And it tastes like a bird.
It has brie-like qualities, but it's a little bit slightly more firm and slightly more flavor, more body, I think.
It kind of does have the taste of at least the sourness of the funky cheese, but it
But
tastes
it's
good.
less. It's much less though.
It's much less, and it actually tastes good. Like that one, it tastes okay. But this one, it tastes, whoa, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Should we rate these cheeses out of 10?
You want to rate them? See, I don't feel qualified to rate the cheese though, because like, if you look
You're
at
qualified to rate the cheese because nobody has to follow this. This is just our personal opinion. So I think it's a good idea to actually rate the cheese. It's a good idea.
No.
You guys should rate it then, but like, I guess my thing is, okay, so with the Torta de Cesar, is this the best Torta de Cesar that has ever been made? Is this exactly what it's supposed to taste like? Or is this a particularly poor example?
This
of
is
that?
the.
I have no idea.
First of all, I think Murray's Cheeses is pretty qualified to have the good cheese. And second of all, like, who cares?
My point is just that because they're different styles of cheese, I would feel more comfortable rating cheeses that were all the same. Like if we were like, let's get 3 cheddars. Who makes the best cheddar? I would definitely rate that. Because I know what cheddar is supposed to be, and we're comparing several different types. But like, this to me is a little bit like comparing, like, you have one apple and you have one orange, rate them. Like, well, they're 2 different things.
We're not comparing them, we're just rating them out of 10 how much we enjoy them.
Oh, okay.
We're kind of comparing them though because they're like they'll be on the scale, but we're more rating them, but we're comparing them as well.
I've enjoyed the goat cheese brie.
Right.
It was decent. It's not my favorite. I've had much better soft cheeses than that, but
I
it's
mean, like,
decent.
We did get it from Aldi's though.
It's your general food store cheese. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean the
We're
fact
not,
that
we're not against Aldi actually. We go to Aldi for most of our groceries, and it's good. But it's not like the fancy cheese.
I think
It's
as
like
an
bread
everyday cheese, it's great.
Yeah.
You know,
It's amazing.
it's a great
It's
cheese. The
perfect.
pecorino, the truffle pecorino,
Very good.
That's what you should be.
I think is one of the highest quality cheeses that I've had. I thought it was really amazing cheese.
Oh yes. The
But
pecorino.
but that's not an everyday cheese either.
No, you won't. You wouldn't just bring that to like a barbecue. Or something.
Do you think you could melt this? I think you could.
We could turn it into a fondue, I guess.
That would be good.
That would be $100 fondue.
Who cares?
We're gonna talk
We would eat it.
Are you paying for it? I'm
about bank account.
We could have another episode where it's fondue we're trying.
We have another episode where Jim tries to get his finances in order after his children spend all of his money on cheese.
Sounds like a good thumbnail.
I mean, it's not that bad of a, like, there's worse thing that can happen to your money besides spending cheese.
I mean, like at least you get to eat the cheese.
Yeah.
We have more, don't we?
I like, you have one more cheese, and then we do have to wrap it up. Well, we have these, these were just in the fridge. I mean, there's nothing special about these cheeses. I believe they came from Trader Joe's. Yancey's Fancy New York's Artisan Cheese. One of them is horseradish, buffalo wings, smoked Gouda, and New York sharp.
Oh, horseradish, yeah, we got them.
Let's try the horseradish one. Might as well. It's not like we're doing anything else.
Try to get this now.
Here, yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
The last of the cheeses, official cheeses that we brought, is the one that I picked out, the Humboldt Fog Cypress Grove Creamery.
That'll be our grand finale. Then we'll rate the cheeses, and then we'll finish up.
That sounds good, and I think we'll wrap up. I think like an hour is about the limit of what I want.
We have
The
no idea
podcast
how
to
long
be-
we've been filming, but like, who cares?
Well, yeah,
We're just
and
filming.
I have to make a call. That's why the alarm went off. So I need to make a call. But this cheese, oh, I remember now. This cheese is a really interesting cheese.
Although before we
Humboldt
get
Fog. It actually has vegetable ash lined inside the cheese.
You gotta,
Yes.
So you can see the cheese right here.
that may be
it's-
why it's called fog.
Yeah, it's got a line through it. It's very soft looking. It's another creamy cheese.
It looks also
you have to rate
very-
this- You have to rate the horseradish.
Yes, before we eat that, we need to break the horseradish.
You gonna go for it.
It's kind of spicy, which is good.
I don't taste any spicy. I feel like it's like horseradish and cheese had a baby. But like,
Yeah, I don't really think it's that great of cheese.
I
It's
think it's
fine.
good.
I mean, like,
This is the kind of stuff we bring to a barbecue.
It's a
Yeah.
cheese plate cheese. It's a basic cheese plate cheese.
it's just a,
It's not fancy, it's just good.
it tastes fine.
All right.
Once again, I would not just take it out and eat it as a snack, but like,
I'm gonna each give you guys pieces of this Humboldt Fog.
nice. We need to save at least some of the cheese. I have a little bit of a remnant of the truffle one here, so that we can actually rate it. Obviously, we still have the funky cheese because no one really wanted to eat that.
Yeah, I mean, you can always come back to any of the cheeses.
We do have the wrappers, but that nobody would be able to see what the wrappers were.
All right, so
Let's eat this one. I taste it and I immediately think of blue cheese.
yeah, it has a very slight sourness that's pretty pleasant. Again, it reminds me a little bit of like a citric acid sourness.
A little bit.
Tastes like blue cheese and brie mixed together.
It is, yeah, I would agree with that. I would describe it as a cross between brie and blue cheese.
Okay. Yeah, for all of you video listeners, the video listeners, I'll bring the cheese over here. We have a little bit of the brie. Where are you guys? I don't know. We have the little bit of the brie, and then it just kind of crosses over and turns into a blue cheese. For your.
But it's like brighter than blue cheese.
Brighter, yeah.
It's like, I think it's a really pleasant cheese. Like I really like it a lot.
It's good. It's happy. It's a happy cheese.
It's a little scary looking. Is the only thing I would say is
Looks intense.
it's very moldy. Well, look at it. Look at the
Moldy
rinds.
is a way of describing it. It's not actually moldy.
Like the rind has green
Tints.
sort of veins and tints going through it. It's got this vegetable ash
It doesn't make it
through
taste
the
bad.
middle that's, I guess, meant to affect the flavor or perhaps the pH.
For what?
The pH, the like acidity of the cheese.
Okay. Cheese
It's a texture thing.
Okay.
But it's really tasty.
It's good.
It's not too much. It's not overpowering in any way.
This is a snacking cheese, although it's too expensive to just snack on. That's like if you have like
well,
$200 lying around
what
and you
did-
decide
What
to
did you
snack
pay
on
for this one?
That was like 10 bucks.
This was $11 for like a wedge of like what you would get for like a
It was
wedge.
a pretty
of
big
fruit.
wedge though.
It was a pretty big wedge. So yeah, it's not a cheap cheese,
It's good cheese though.
but it's a very good cheese. I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend this as sort of like, if you wanted to make a cheese plate where there was something very accessible, you know, like a soft brie,
like a slow gradient, like accessible all the way to like
and then maybe like
shit for a king.
the pecorino tartufo, I think is also pretty accessible cheese. It's a great cracker cheese. And then maybe I would put this at the end as sort of like the adventure cheese. But I don't think you're gonna find a lot of people who just dislike it.
No.
Whereas the Torta de Cesar, I think,
That's like somebody would be like, no, I don't like this.
yeah, like there's gonna be a lot of people who eat that and they're not gonna go back for more. But I think the other two that we got from Murray's really were outstanding cheeses, and I would definitely consider them.
We have nothing against the Caesar one, the funky one, but we just don't like it.
Well, we were told, right? The person behind the counter was like,
You've been warned.
I told her what we were doing, and I told her about the podcast, and we each were picking out a cheese, and Patrick's kind of an intense guy, and he wanted the intense cheese.
I guess
And she warned us. She said, "Look, you know, it's a lot of flavors, a lot going on here." So,
Next bite is the point of no return.
indeed.
But like, we were warned and we ate it anyway. That's what we get.
Oh, good.
Was it worth trying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then, well, that's what we're doing here. That's the point. So we've now tried goat cheese brie from Aldi's. We tried
Funky
the
cheese.
Lille Collommiers, I believe it was pronounced,
The one from
which we got from Vermont.
the farmer's market.
There was the Le Roule, which was also from Vermont.
I like that one a lot.
The cheese that we didn't save any of.
Which one did we? Oh, the pecorino tartufo.
Yeah.
We ate
Yeah.
all of that.
I have some that I'm going to save for reading.
Oh, okay. We have the Torta de Cesar, and we have the Humboldt Fog. And then we did try a horseradish cheddar that I just had in the fridge, which I didn't really think was a serious
It
contender.
wasn't
but
serious, but it was a good cheese.
It was fine.
It was
It was
fun.
fine.
It's not pro tier. amateurs.
So, Jack, of those cheeses that we've tried today, what were your top 3 and why?
I think it was the truffle for number 1 because it's exactly what I wanted. We tasted it and I was like, I want that one because it tasted really good. It had the mushrooms. I like the taste of mushrooms. I don't know why. It just tastes good. But yeah. Anyone who's tasted mushrooms and likes it know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I know you're a big mushroom fan, so.
Yeah, and also it's just pleasant. It's like something you'd be like, oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, so what's your second place?
My second place would be the Humboldt Fog, because I like how they like turned it into a mashup of 2 different things. I was like the brie, but also the blue cheese, but also the brie, but also the blue cheese. It's like a mixture of the 2, and I like those 2 flavors actually. That was an interesting mixture for whoever made this cheese. Good job.
It's a very original, it's a very unique cheese without being like, I mean, look, Torta de Cesar is a unique cheese too,
Oh,
but
I'm very.
unique doesn't make it great, or it doesn't make it delicious at least. But I think the Humboldt Fog was like, it's a unique tasting cheese without being like very divisive. I think it's a cheese that most people would enjoy.
That one is delicious.
What was your third place?
My third place? I don't know. Actually, I think all of them get third place because
Yeah.
I have a top 2. I don't have a top 3 because I liked all the cheese except for that one. That one gets 5th place.
Well, this is why I didn't want to rate them, because the Torta de Cesar is exactly what it's supposed to be, right? And we just don't like what it's supposed to be. So that's kind of, it's an unfair judgment in a little bit, in a way. But
This is our opinion though. You can eat the Torta de Cesar. You don't have to like it. You could like it. If you like it, then we're not against that.
yeah, maybe it becomes your favorite cheese.
It could be your favorite cheese, but we don't know. We don't like it, and
That's exactly why cheeses are worth trying.
yes. We don't like it. That's our personal opinion, but you could
What's your
like
guys'
it,
personal
and we will.
What about you, Patrick?
We will
Top 3.
not judge.
I think for number 1,
Putting out this part.
got the herb cheese.
The Le Roule
I think
from Mount Rollin.
Yeah. And second place, I think, was the fog, and then third would be the funky cheese.
Okay. What
You
was
like
it
the
about the
funky
Le Roule that you liked the most?
Which was the one?
The one with the garlic and herbs.
I like how it was, it had flavor, but it wasn't like punching you in the face, beating you on the ground like, I am this cheese, deal with it.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what the Cesar one was.
Hey, don't be
That's
so
like
mean.
that's what I am. Deal with it.
Don't bully the cheese.
It's like that song from The Greatest Showman.
I think
where the
that my
beautiful woman
favorite
talks about how
cheese.
she doesn't care what other people think of her.
I think that my favorite cheese is the Humboldt Fog, because it was really the most interesting to me, and it's very accessible yet still being pretty like out there.
Yeah.
My second favorite would be either the Pecorino Tartufo or maybe the Le Roule. I actually really enjoyed the goat brie because it was a very fresh, refreshing, light cheese. And especially with all the cheese that we've just eaten, it was kind of nice to have something that was like a little bit of a palate cleanser. Although I don't want to discount this Lille Collommiers. It was
pretty good.
that was also very good.
That would have been my fourth.
Yeah, I think so. For the next episode, we're each going to pick out at least one cheese, and we'll go from there. I'm probably going to go for something that's a little bit of a harder cheese. So
We
maybe
had softer cheese this time.
we had a lot of soft cheese today.
I don't think we had hard cheese.
No, we do have some aged cheddar that is waiting for us in the fridge that we can
We could try it sometime.
do that. We can talk to somebody if they want to be a guest on the show. And to be a guest on the show, again, you just contact us via Instagram. We're in the process of setting that up, but it is cheeses as in plural of cheese, cheeses worth trying. And
3 months.
yeah, we're gonna get that thing set up, and you can reach out to us about being on the show.
Or just reach out in general.
Just reach out and tell us what you thought went well, what you thought didn't go well, and
We're
take
open
it
to
from there.
suggestions.
We're open to suggestions.
We need suggestions terribly bad.
I wouldn't say we need suggestions, but
We would like suggestions.
Actually,
Suggestions
Pass
are
a piece
good.
of bread.
yes.
We're just eating all of the cheese.
Yeah, so now we're just, we're gonna,
Some cheese.
I think we can wrap up the show though, right? So
Yes.
this was our successful first episode. Cheese is worth trying. Jim, Patrick, Jack. The show is sponsored by the Long Law Firm, which
Yes.
is located in Syracuse.
That's where we are right now.
Shout
We're
out,
always shout out to Syracuse
shout out
and
to Murray's Cheeses.
shout out to Murray's Cheeses for guiding us about some of these selections. And if you're ever in Greenwich Village, New York City, Murray's Cheeses is an awesome foodie destination. It's a really, really cool cheese shop. You probably
It also has other stuff too.
yeah, no,
mainly
they have all sorts of stuff there, but
Yeah, bread,
it's mainly
bread,
cheese.
apples.
they specialize in cheese. Actually, right next door is an old style meat deli, so you can also get lots of cured meats with your cheeses.
That's just the charcuterie street.
Charcuterie Street, yeah.
We should
Yeah,
do
well, there's
charcuterie
also the patisserie. If you remember, do you remember we got Napoleons and stuff there.
Oh yeah, that place is good too.
Yeah, so there's my favorite dessert place is in Greenwich Village. Also, it's called Patisserie Cloud. That's Claude. That is on, I believe it's on West 4th. There's another patisserie that's also very good though. It is across the street from Murray's Cheeses in Greenwich Village. So yeah, so we've tried all the cheeses. We've made our first episode. We've got some things that we've got to nail down. Hopefully it was enjoyable, and I think we're done, right? All right.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.